Hi, United Lutheran. I had hoped to be with you on Wednesday night at worship to talk about our journey together in the wilderness through Lent and what that means as our journey of faith, and specifically what it means for us here at Churches United. But as you all know, we're all in a different kind of wilderness and we're messing with what it means to live in a pandemic. And so I can't be with you in person tonight because we are in great demand here at Micah's Mission and Dorothy Day House and the food pantries that are operated by Churches United. And you all can't gather as a worshiping community together in actual space. So here we are in virtual space. So Peter asked me if I would talk with you about some reflections on what it is to journey in the wilderness, and maybe a little bit about the wilderness of homelessness and how Churches United is seeking to serve our neighbors in the community in the midst of their wilderness wanderings. So the idea of wilderness is central to faith formation and the way that faith gets distilled. Moses leads the Hebrew people through the wilderness. They go in kind of a ragtag bag of slaves, and they come out the other side a people. Jesus goes into the wilderness regularly to pray. Jesus is tempted by Satan in the wilderness. So there's a sense of a wilderness time being a time of faith being tempered and tested. Usually when folks come out of the wilderness, they come out changed and often stronger than they were when they went in. At Churches United, we have the privilege of journeying with people in their wilderness of homelessness and poverty, journeying with them on the road from homelessness and poverty to stable housing and healing, whatever that looks like, journeying with folks through the wilderness of food insecurity. And what we often see is that in the privilege of that journey, we are strengthened, those of us who work with our neighbors, and we get to see our neighbors be strengthened as well. So we are just so privileged to be a part of this. We get to walk with families through the uncertainty of what it means to be homeless, into the new start of an apartment. We built the Bright Sky Apartments about 2 years ago. The first households moved in 2 years ago. And many of those households have moved in to 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms and their families. And when I think about the wilderness journey for families, I think about how lost and uncertain families seem to feel when they come into the shelter, and how the kids are so difficultly impacted by the sense of insecurity and crisis day by day. And then sometimes I get the chance to see those same households after they've been in their apartment for a while, especially at Bright Sky, and how the whole family's sense of well-being in their relationship with the community, kids' relationship with school, has improved. I often would see kids get on and off the bus here prior to the Bright Sky Apartments opening, and they would be looking down and be very hesitant in their waiting outside. After Bright Sky opened, I had the opportunity to see some of those same kids get off the bus at the end of the school day and go skipping into the apartment because they were home. So that's a journey from housing instability and homelessness into housing stability, a journey through the wilderness to come out strengthened on the other side. I've also been privileged to be a part of those journeys with some of our older single folks who've experienced homelessness chronically, and just what it means to them to move from chronic homelessness into housing stability. One of those gentlemen is a fellow named Dave, and he was a guest here at the shelter, been chronically homeless for probably 20 years. He was one of the very first people to move into the Bright Sky Apartments. I had a chance to visit him in his apartment, and he remarked to me that it was so great to have his own place and that he had 2 windows. Like, think about that. Like, to go from not having any place at all to having an apartment that's your own with 2 windows. And now I see him fairly often when I'm over at Bright Sky, and he's been in his own place now for a little more than 2 years, and it's just been such a privilege to see that. So that's what we do here at Churches United. We walk with people through the wilderness of homelessness and poverty and food insecurity. We journey with them. We get to be a part of their story, and we get to see what happens on the other side of the wilderness and see new starts for folks. I just want to thank you for being with me in this virtual time together. Encourage you to engage with the ministry of Churches United and to support us. Hopefully I'll be able to come and be with you in person one of these days instead of in a virtual way. But thank you so much for your support. If you want to know more about us, reach out to me either directly or through Pastor Peter. I'm happy to have conversations and to kind of let you know what we're doing and what our hopes and dreams are for the future and how we can continue to walk together as people of faith. We are, all of us together, Churches United, people of faith, as we seek to serve our community. Thank you again for this time, and hopefully we'll be together in person sometime in the not too distant future. May God bless you on your wilderness journey. Thank you.